If you've been shopping around for an affordable e-bike lately, the Ride1Up brand has probably come up at least a few times. And their 700 series e-bike line may have caught your eye since it appears to come with decent components at a reasonable price. But since it's priced at hundreds below what many competing e-bike models are costing, it may make you wonder if it's too good to be true. So in this video, I wanted to go over the components and features of the Ride1Up 700 series to see what kind of specs they're packing into this bike and maybe decide if it's worth the relatively low asking price or if you should just spend extra cash on a more expensive alternative. But before we get into that, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And maybe leave a comment letting me know what you think of the bike. I definitely appreciate it. Now let's get into the Ride1Up 700 series and see what we can find out. When you think of your typical e-bike, you may think of big 4-inch fat tires rolling over pavement and dirt trails alike. But a good number of e-bike riders prefer the slimmer tires found on many models classified as commuter bikes. Bikes such as the Rad City 5 Plus from Rad Power Bikes, the Aventon Level 2, or any number of other street-styled e-bikes. The Ride1Up 700 series has these 27.5 by 2.4 inch slimmer tires with street tread. These tires are at a width that make for a comfortable ride, but slim and light enough that you don't feel like you're constantly pedaling through sand, as it may seem with fatter tires. Most riders drawn to commuter e-bikes prefer to pedal and normally don't want to go too heavy on the throttle, so the drivetrain is important. Because of this, Ride1Up added an 8-speed Shimano shifter. It sports a 45-tooth chainring in the front and an 11 to 30-tooth freewheel in the back. This setup should make pedaling and shifting silky smooth and worth the pedaling effort. Pedal assistance on the 700 series is triggered via cadence sensor with 5 different levels of pedal assist. But you don't have to pedal if you choose not to, since the bike also comes with a left thumb throttle. Personally, I prefer a right-hand throttle control, such as a half twist or a full twist throttle, but if you're going to be mostly using pedal assist, it shouldn't be too much of an adjustment. Riding with only throttle gets you to a maximum speed of Class 2, 20 miles per hour without any pedal input. But if you want to reach the bike's top motor assistance Class 3 speed of 28 miles per hour, you'll have to crank those pedals. Like most other e-bikes in this class, the 700 series has no rear suspension. However, it does come with a hydraulic suspension on the front fork with 100 millimeters of travel. The fork comes with your standard adjustments such as lockout and tension if you want to adjust the amount of bounce that you're getting. At the heart of the 700 series is a 750 watt rear geared hub motor that peaks at 1000 watts and a 48 volt 15 amp hour or 720 watt hour battery that is fully integrated into the frame and accessible from underneath. The motor and battery are about on par or slightly above what your typical commuter e-bike will come with. Many e-bikes in this category come with a 500 watt motor that peaks at 750 watts, like in the case of the Aventon Level 2, or only peak at 750 watts, like the Rad City 5 Plus. The 750 watt nominal and 1000 watt peak power should get you more acceleration and hill climbing ability. However, this extra power can translate into a slight reduction in range when compared to these lower wattage competitors. Ride1Up indicates that this e-bike should be able to get you up to 30 to 50 miles of range per charge. That range estimate is, of course, a best case scenario. However, in real life situations, your individual mileage will vary. I'd imagine you probably get closer to 25 to 45 miles on average while using pedal assist and 15 to 20 miles with only throttle. Bringing the 700 series to a stop should be easy since it comes with Tektro hydraulic disc brakes with 180mm rotors on the front and rear. It's quite common for e-bikes in this price category to come with off-brand hydraulic brakes or even mechanical brakes, so I'm glad to see that Ride1Up went with hydraulic braking from a quality brand. Another feature that Ride1Up didn't necessarily have to add, but decided to do so anyway, was the inclusion of their bike's rear rack. The rack is rated for a carry capacity of 50 pounds. However, it is removable, so if you do decide that you'd rather not use it, you can always have the option to take it off, but rear racks are always a great storage option for any bike. The bike itself has a total cargo capacity of 300 pounds and comes in 2 different frame styles, high step and step through. These 2 frame styles share the same total length of 70 inches, a wheelbase of 43 inches, and both weigh in at 62 pounds each. However, they will differ on their standover height, which comes in at 17 inches for the step through and 29.5 inches on the high step. Their handlebar reach will be slightly different as well, which is 18 inches on the step through and 22 inches on the high step. The product photos that Ride1Up shows on their site make it seem that the 700 series has a fixed position stem for the handlebars. However, they do indicate that both the high step and the step through versions of the bike come with an adjustable headset, so you should have a bit more customization with your handlebar position. The recommended rider height for these frame options are 5 foot to 6 foot 2 inches for the step through and 5 foot 5 inches to 6'4" on the high step. you get the same two color options for whichever frame style you purchase: steel blue and graphite gray. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Speaking of color, the user interface on the 700 series has a 2.2-inch color display, which is a bit smaller than your typical e-bike screen, but it does have all the basic readouts that you would normally need while riding, including your speed, odometer, pedal assist level, wattage, and battery level. From what I can tell, you're able to have the battery voltage readout instead of the standard percentage level or vague battery graphic found on most other displays. I really prefer having a voltage readout on my displays, so I'm glad it's an option. Once you get used to it, I find it much more intuitive. The 700 series comes with your standard features found on most e-bikes these days, and there's nothing too out of the ordinary. Components like the basic comfort seat, front headlight and rear brake light, clean cable management with spiral cable wraps, but they seem to have gone the extra mile and added full metal fenders instead of the basic plastic ones, and faux leather grips instead of your plain rubber ones. Though the fake leather grips tend to look a lot nicer, in my experience they will usually twist much more than the standard rubber ones, so you may want to switch those out for locking grips if that tends to bother you. One aspect of the 700 series that may scare away a few potential buyers is the quite in-depth assembly process. Most e-bikes these days come mostly assembled and require you to attach the handlebars, front wheel, pedals, and other negligible components like fenders, a relatively simple process overall. However, the 700 series seems to be much more involved. Much more involved. I wanted to point out the extent of what you'll have to assemble, since it seems quite extensive. Assembling the 700 series requires you attaching the front forks, headset components and stem, as well as the handlebars themselves. But it doesn't end there. You'll have to bolt on the front brake caliper, the front wheel, attach the front fender, rear rack, chain ring with the right crank arm, as well as putting on the chain itself. Not to mention the headlight, brake light, pedals, and attaching the seat to the seat post, and putting that on as well. I have a feeling that much of this is more work than a typical person may want to undertake when putting together a newly purchased e-bike. If you're considering buying a 700 series and aren't that great with e-bike maintenance, I would highly recommend checking out the assembly video that Ride1Up has on their product listing page and see just how much it entails. You may decide to have it assembled, since it may be worth the extra cost, or even go with an entirely different brand because of it. Now the main question: how much does it cost? As I mentioned in the start of this video, the pricing of the 700 series is relatively low compared to much of its competition. At the time of me making this video, Ride1Up seems to be doing one of those perpetual sale deals with this bike. So the regular price of the 700 series is marked at $1,695. However, they've listed a discount of $150 off and is currently priced at $1,545. When or if that'll change is anyone's guess. Compared to the Aventon Level 2 or Rad City 5 Plus, you can see that it comes in at a much lower price point for similar, if not better, components. 750 watt motor, 15 amp hour battery, Tektro hydraulic disc brakes, all for about $250 less than the Level 2 or $450 less than the Rad City 5 Plus, making the 700 series quite attractive, price-wise. There really aren't any missing components that would add on to this base price, but you may want to pick up some add-on accessories depending on your preference. If you were looking for a smoother ride, I'd recommend picking up a more comfortable seat or a suspension seat post. Neither of these are available through Ride1Up on their online store, so you'll have to look elsewhere if you want to upgrade. If the included rear rack isn't enough on-bike storage for you, optional pannier bags or a front rack are available on their site for $60 to $55 respectively. But other than those few add-on options, you should be set with the 700 series right out of the box. At the end of the day, does the Ride1Up 700 series make the cut? In all honesty, there's nothing about the 700 series that absolutely blows its competition out of the water. It doesn't have a flashy paint job or unique frame design. It doesn't come with specialized features or components that you can only find on this bike. But what it does have is a classic frame design, slightly above average battery and motor ratings, and it comes with the same quality parts like hydraulic brakes and rear rack that you can expect to find on other bike models that cost hundreds more. So if you're looking for a good commuter e-bike that will do what an e-bike is made to do, get you around town, it should definitely get the job done. Ride1Up is one of those e-bike brands that doesn't seem to get a lot of attention like other manufacturers such as Rad Power Bikes, Aventon, or Hemingway tend to get, which I find strange since they seem to have e-bikes that are a great value and give you a lot of bang for your buck. The 700 series seems to be no exception to that rule. If you're looking to get a commuter-styled e-bike, I'd say the 700 series should be definitely considered. It may be just one of the better all-around city street-styled e-bikes currently on the market for its price. But let me know what you think. If you're considering picking up the 700 series, or you're looking at one of its competitors, let me know down in the comments. I'm always interested in knowing what you guys think. As always, just to be clear, I'm not associated with Ride1Up, and I don't even have an affiliate link with the company to give to you. So these are all my own honest opinions, and I'm not getting paid to say any of it. I do hope that you enjoyed this video though, and if you did, I'd ask that you please give it a thumbs up, and maybe consider subscribing to have more of my videos sent your way. It would be most appreciated. Otherwise, I thank you for watching, and hope that you stay safe.